Let's do this. Let's do this because we could beat that up to death. I want to beat this one up with Rich Paul and what he said. That was bad?
No, it's awesome.
Flashbacks to last night. Rich Paul.
TMI.
Yeah, right. Dallas. Still a Cowboy. Says Wade, LeBron, and Bosh wasn't. I said was not a big three.
Cap.
Is that disrespectful or is he just keeping it way too real? What you think? What you got?
No, that's disrespectful. I mean, Wade, LeBron, that if we talk about big three, they're probably the big three out of everybody. I mean, you could think about the Celtics with Allen and Pierce and KG, but I feel like they define big three.
They did.
Yeah.
Terry, you shaking your head?
Yeah, that big three in Miami, that was the big three. Like the big three, the big three, quote unquote, in Boston, that was a 30-year-old, 32-year-old, 33-year-old. Like that's I need help. Help me out. Big threes will be all in our prime, and we all can have our own team. But we're not. You know what? We're not going to do that. We're going to go play together and play grab ass together. So,
okay,
yeah.
let's push back. Here we go. Here we go. Yes, let me push back. I'm not calling out your research. I'm not calling out your basketball experience or acumen. I'm calling out the fact that when we heard it was a big three in Miami, just like we heard there was a big three with Boston, just like we also heard there was another big three when he went back to Cleveland, and you start to look at the numbers and the roles and how it really played out, Rich Paul to me is right, because it wasn't a big three. It wasn't LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. It was LeBron, Wade at first, and it was LeBron, Wade, Bosh. Who had to take the back seat?
Bosh.
Who kept getting clowned?
It's still a big three, though.
No. Well, so what he's saying is, he said it. He said, look, it sounds great, and that's the marketing strategy, but every time I talk to an owner and even players, there's like, one of y'all got to be professional enough to take that back seat. One of y'all sacrificing numbers, and nothing showed it better. Remember when Kevin Love was in Minnesota? 28 and 12 average. Mm-hmm. He got around LeBron. He couldn't get 20 points. He couldn't get them boards. And the point is, I don't think they were a big three using that as criteria, because Bosh wasn't Toronto Bosh. Wade wasn't even Wade before championship Wade, and LeBron is the only one that kept his status or ascended. Now, talk.
I got an easy response to that.
Oh,
this is why I don't respect what Rich Paul said, because he was there during that time and he didn't say it then.
Why you gotta say it then?
And I'm going to tell you why. Because it's easy to say this type of stuff in hindsight when you see how things played out. The reason why it was the big three is because at that time, all three of them were the stars on their individual teams. And they joined together. So they brought them together as the big three.
But you're
now,
making
once
his
they
point.
Played out, now you want to say, oh, well, this didn't happen. This didn't happen.
Yeah.
But they were still the big three.
That's his point. He said, look, they came as a big three. They left. Bosh wasn't Bosh. He couldn't have been Bosh. There's only one basketball. All three of them couldn't go for 28. And he said, you're actually making this point. He said, if you really want to look back at it, Bosh was not a superstar on this team like LeBron and Wade.
The third player is never really the superstar because everybody has to take a step back. But that doesn't mean you're not the big three. Because Ray Allen has to take a step back.
He was a superstar before he went.
Yes.
Right? So
and then
that's what makes them the big three.
And he was a superstar in a lot of those fourth quarters. In a lot of those fourth quarters, he was stepping up, hitting a lot of big ass shots, a lot of big buckets.
Yeah.
Dwayne Wade was getting a lot of big buckets in the fourth quarter driving.
On what team could the leader just wait to the fourth quarter and just hit some buckets and be called the best player? You wouldn't call him the best player.
In 2011,
you were saying you're playing your role.
Remember who carried them in that 2011 finals? It was Dwayne Wade. He was averaging 30 a game, and LeBron was averaging 17. So we're talking about right. And Bosh was putting up numbers. So he's picking and choosing if you want to call him a big three because his guy LeBron at one point was averaging the lowest out of that three. So do we take him away?
No,
because he's only talking about Bosh.
We're talking about the 4 years in Miami, and you can look at their averages, and especially in LeBron was the best player, right? Let's be real. Those 4 years. Right. No bias intended. Yeah. Then Dwayne Wade, right? And then Bosh. Now, let's look at Bosh in the vacuum. Would that guy qualify? Would that guy qualify going somewhere as being considered a star to be on the big three?
But you can't do it like that because the reason why
that's the way it played out.
Well, no, you can't look at it as their overall average over that 4 years. The reason why they're a big three is because Each one was a star, and they knew when to step up in the moments that was required of them. Yeah. So yeah, Bosh average across. No, I'm not, because Bosh average across may not have been that high, but then in the playoffs and in the finals when they needed them big shots, they went to him because he's one of the big three. They felt confident giving him because they know his caliber. Like, okay, he's a star, he can handle this moment.
No, you've been branded. I really think you've been branded. Look, it's like running back by committee, but like Derrick Henry's the starter, and then it's like, oh, your backup is Justin Forsett. I don't know who the hell was there. But then, like, you got dudes that can come in and do it. But we not asking you to do it. Now, what star are we never asking to do it? It's like the role. He's not even dissing Bosh. He's like, he was such a pro, he knew he couldn't get it off every game. He couldn't get it off every series. He had to wait. Right?
Or he chose to.
You don't stop this. No one chooses this.
You just
get
said that.
Forced.
No.
He just said it.
He said when you get
forced.
Comes to teams, somebody has to take a step back.
Yeah. No. This is what he said. This is what Rich Paul is saying about Bosh. I'm telling you what happened. Spoelstra said LeBron getting the ball, and he don't get it to Wade. He don't get it, then Bosh get it. He never started with saying, Bosh, you go. He wouldn't do that.
He was never the first option.
You're never the first option.
Wasn't Ray Allen more pivotal than Bosh in this on that whole Miami team?
No.
Didn't he hit more big shots?
Well, he hit one big shot.
That wasn't the only one.
He hit the big shot.
He hit a lot more big shots than that.
Bosh had a lot of big shots in that playoff.
Oh, he hit big shots.
Yeah,
he definitely made big shots.
And the assist to Ray Allen to hit that.
I'm not just not the finals, but even just that whole year. Like Ray Allen, I thought was just more pivotal in that offense. But go ahead.
But you got to remember who they played. They played the Spurs, right? That year, right?
One of them
was the Spurs, and one of them was the Mavericks, right?
Yep, two of them.
Okay. You got to think, Bosh is a power forward / center, right? We all agree about that? Like center / power forward around those? Mm-hmm. Who's the best player on each of those teams? Dirk and Tim Duncan. Bosh had to cover those guys so the rest of the team could succeed. So you can't call Bosh not a big three player when his defense is the only reason they could even compete in that series.
Talk to him.
Hey, he's speaking.
Talk to him.
He's speaking on that.
Talk to him.
Well, the only thing is, here's the problem. No. Don't let little man think he give him the candy back. Those are the two series they lost.
It doesn't mean he didn't ball, but that don't take away from him.
We were at our best when you weren't being the guy we had to count on.
But that don't mean he's not balling just because you lost.
No, did Dirk ball in that series?
But Dirk is Dirk.
Don't do that because you can.
No. Because you can't discredit him because Dirk put up numbers. Dirk is Dirk. It's like Kobe. Kobe was going to put up his numbers regardless. That doesn't mean
but LeBron is LeBron, and you just told me a series where he didn't put up his numbers.
But
so you can't
I didn't take away from him being LeBron. Yes. I just said he didn't perform.
So that's to my point.
You're saying because he didn't perform that he's not.
No, I didn't say he didn't perform. I'm saying you are still in a third fiddle role because and third fiddle has never ate to a point where it really should have been. Look, Magic, Kareem when they were rolling, and then who? Worthy. Now, Worthy wasn't getting Kareem numbers. He wasn't getting Magic numbers. And everybody used to say, what? If James Worthy went somewhere else, he would be the man.
Right.
But when you're here, you're not the man.
Magic.
That's what he said. But Bosh wasn't the man.
When you put together a big three, you don't know what the results are going to be.
Yeah.
You don't know.
You that's why they put it together.
You don't know how it's going to fall. You don't know.
That was the plan.
Chris Bosh didn't know he was going to have to take that big of a back seat.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, you do.
Yes,
he was balling.
What number three?
I was very
Jordan, Pippen, who we going to say?
Robin?
What? Yeah, thank you.
Horace Grant?
Name a third player that was still the dog he was before he got there. Go. Right. I'm glad he said that. No one chooses football. Football chooses you. It's so crazy people still stuck in Pat Mahomes in the offense. I'm like, do you see these numbers? This is Marcellus Wiley on the rocks.